right, for this episode of Mr. Nailsin's Wednesday Comics, I'm going to basically do two books. One's complete, the other one is the first issue in a series. So, once again, it's Superman and Batman. No, not World's Finest. Going to look at one of the final works from the late, great Neil Adams in Supermen, and also the first issue in Mark Silvestri's The Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo. So we'll start off with, there's the title. Supermen. This was a comic book series and then collected that Neil Adams did. He did a couple of these, starting off with Batman Odyssey. He did one on Dead Man, and this one with Superman. And, of course, he was still a master of his craft art-wise. I've only read Odyssey and now Superman. I'm of the opinion that he really needed a writer for these. Batman Odyssey it's sort of saved by how wild and crazy it is. But the premise of it was sold, at least in the initial advertisements that I saw before I bought it, was that Batman gets injured and he needs to upgrade his suit because he gets shot and all that. And oh, yeah, okay, that might be an interesting thing. That's not really the story at all. He goes off into some subterranean world with bat people and all this. And I went all over the place. And so it's just the sort of wild and unpredictable craziness of it. It's not good. I can't say that. But, hey, it's interesting. So he does Supermen, which by its title says, there's more than one Superman in this story. So that's kind of the premise, you would think. No. And this one, and to be fair, I don't know, what state of health Neil Adams was, because sadly he passed away not long ago. And there's just more than just kind of craziness of the approach to it, is a certain incoherence. And some of the dialogue doesn't flow well and stuff. I'm not sure what happened there. Artwork, fantastic. Top notch. There's a reason why he's a legend. But I think, and I remember some of the comments on Jack Kirby when he was off on his own, is that he really needed a writer to touch up some of his ideas. He was just limitless in vision and ideas and all that sort of thing, and approaches to these comic book characters. But he just wasn't a writer. And the same appears to be true here for Mr. Adams. And it's unfortunate. Had he teamed up with somebody, like he presents his whole idea and what he wanted to do and all that, and they, reined it in to make it, certainly in the case of Superman, more coherent. So the Supermen show up. They're not all that relevant. They're the big reveal. Who are they? Because that could be the whole story, that there's a mystery of who these people are. Are they really from Krypton and all that sort of stuff? Could have done that. No, they're from Kandor. So that's all you need. What continuity? It doesn't matter. This is the Adams verse, I guess. Call it that. There's a multiverse, so there's some Earth out there where this happens. It doesn't really matter. But all the characters are there, all very recognizable. So there's Jimmy, and there's Superman. And he says, biggest horses, check this out. Your clone Superman just showed up. What's this all about? Who are they? The Supermen, my brothers. Your brothers, really? Cousins? No, really? He's just playing with it. Come on, Jimmy, how could I know? Well, you're Superman. All I know is bad is going on. Okay. Up and away. He's incredible, that guy. Yeah, well, he's super. So, this flows a lot better. This is really early on in the story, but later on, it's very bizarre. I don't know what the deal was, but it doesn't quite work out. So here's a little vision of this character, Darkseid, looking very Egyptian. But there's the Darkseid had something to do with the past and Egypt and all that. Yeah, it goes all over the place. The new gods play a significant role in this. But basically, Superman has this mission. He goes into some Middle Eastern country and saves this young boy. And supposed to be the point of the story, but he's just there. And all of a sudden, this mysterious stranger requires that Superman take care of this kid and all that. So he does. But meanwhile, the Supermen, who are pretty much irrelevant to the story, other than that the whole thing moves to New Krypton, where the Kandorians have settled, but then Apocalypse takes over New Krypton. They create a new Apocalypse on there because the old one's lost. I guess this is following the narrative that Kirby set with Hunger Dogs, if you know that story, and all that. So I guess that's what he's following with in this. Don't really know. So Calabac shows up, causing all kind of trouble. The Supermen take him on and all that. And then, I got these out of sequence. I'm sorry. So this is the mysterious stranger who's connected with the new gods and all that, and tells him, you got to take care of the kid and his dog, because the dog is someone important too, in disguise. So he tells him all that, and then here comes Calabac and he kidnaps the boy. So Superman loses his mind. He's brutal. He's arrogant and vengeful. He's uber violent in a lot of it. He's not Superman. Don't know. It just happens and he moves on. Now, of course, a child's in danger. He's going to do what he can to save the kid, but good Lord, does he go old. And in a couple of cases, it's okay because it's robots, so he just slaughters a bunch of robots. But it's robots, so it's not really slaughter. There's just no getting around it. It's bad. So other than the art and that it's this odd crafting of this story, other than that, I can't really recommend it. I mean, the art's good, but that's about it. Because when he was doing these, one of the things I thought might be cool if he did just a full-on New God story. But who the hell knows what that would be? This is as close as you're going to get. But Darkseid, how he depicts him, that's not Darkseid. Not at all. There's a confrontation between Darkseid and Lex Luthor, and ends on a note seeming that perhaps Neil Adams had a follow-up to this in mind. Unfortunately, he won't be able to do that because, sadly, he passed away. But Darkseid in here is just a lumbering idiot, and just easily thwarted here and there. And it's almost a comical character. So I don't know what the deal was. It loses its way through, and then all of a sudden everything's fine, and Superman saves the kid, but he's special. The dog is special because it's High Father in disguise, and that's about it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just. But yeah, the art is pretty good. So there you go. Supermen, even though they don't really matter at all. Yeah. And Superman goes crazy. I don't know what to tell you. It's really strange. So what are you going to do? So anyway, Mark Silvestri, was part of Image Comics in its heyday, did Cyberforce, and he's one of these great artists that people just love to look at. And seems he's got a better handle on scripting and writing. So this is the first issue of this special series. He's doing a Black Label thing, so it's its own thing and all that. So this will be another Earth in the DC multiverse. Still, this is not the version of Harley Quinn I don't care. I'm so sick to death of this. But it's popular for some reason. So anyway, she's been captured by some mysterious somebody with glowing red eyes. Is it Darkseid? I don't know. But my pudding's coming, and you're going to kick your ass. We'll see. So then we cut to an opening of a murder mystery, which appears to be, at least the murder mystery is set up to make you think that the Joker has committed a murder. There's Harvey Bullock. Oh, look, the Joker card. And I wonder who he's talking to. Well, he's talking to Batman, of course. Looking at this scene, and it's all very brutal, very violent. And Bullock is going on. If only he could have gotten a shot at the killer, which they know, which appears to have been the Joker. And Batman says, well, he did. And he shows the bullet wounds, and it looks as if the Joker took a hit, and it should have killed him. So that's, well, how is this possible? This is censored in the preview. It's not in the book. So the guy was, just slaughtered and cut to pieces. His head is missing and all of this. But then there's the telltale sign of the laughter painted on the wall. In blood, I suspect. And then the famous Batman disappears on Harvey while he's in mid-sentence and all that. Because Commissioner Gordon's on a fishing trip. So there we go. There's a scene of Batman using his cape to glide across over the cops. This is a bad cop he doesn't like, so he blows his toupee off and all. And off he goes. And that's the preview images for number 1. Well, here I'll spoil a few details. It looks like the Joker didn't have anything to do with this. The Joker seeks out Batman's help in solving this, says they took something of mine. I guess that's a reference to Harley Quinn being held, but there seems to involve the Joker's DNA. The real killer looks to be some sort of supernatural or sci-fi genetic enhanced creature that looks like the Joker, more or less. It's sort of a vampire Joker. So maybe it's a vampire, but maybe it's something else. And, like I said, the red eyes, that Darkseid, maybe not. But something of that nature, and it appears the Joker is being framed in this. And so they team up to solve the thing. There's a reason why Batman agrees to team up with the Joker. I guess I'll save that as to how he extorts the Batman into this. But it's pretty, it's very simple and basic. It gets right into the story and leads you up to the premise of it, and gets you set for the follow-up issue. And I can't complain. Of course, it's Silvestri's art. It's very good. And everyone is acting like they should. Batman is very much Batman and a detective in on all this. There's a lot of technical details about his different devices and how he uses them and all that. It's one of the things I was thinking about it is like the Batman film that was supposed to be this detective noir story. And even that, they kind of missed the mark. There's a little bit of it where like a detective from those old detective noir stories, Batman narrates it. But it's only very, very brief. It's just like they forgot what they were doing. This one doesn't forget. He's narrating the story like one of those old detectives. And it works very, very well. So pretty good. It's only the first issue. We'll see how it progresses. But it's pretty cool. And it's a mixture of genres and things. And obviously the detective story, a Batman and Joker story, but also elements perhaps of the supernatural in it. And there's always been that somewhat with Batman. Primarily street level crime and stuff is, I think, should be the main emphasis on Batman. But those elements, other ones come in. And after all, he lives in a fantastic world where, you have Superman in it and the likes of, Zatanna and Dr. Fate and John Constantine, all that type of stuff. So eventually these elements cross paths, and it fits in just with the aesthetic, bats and all. But it might be more sci-fi than supernatural. I don't know, but that's left up to mystery as to where the story goes. So there you go, a Superman and Batman story. This one, Batman wins out, at least so far. But I'm more partial to Neil Adams' art than Silvestri's, but there's no denying Silvestri's capable abilities. So anyway, there you go for your Wednesday comics recommendation from your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.